Endurance Championship for what seems to be now round number 3 here in Italy, the circuit of Monza. I'm joined in the commentary box with Risky Racer. He covered last week's attempt at Barcelona, but due to a glitch, and we're now doing lap 3 this time. He will be covering the GT3 Championship. He'll be going through the racing, happy to see them, and keeping me posted on any side-by-side incidents going forward.
Just like to point out, many of you know who I am, many of you don't. We do still again have another pit glitch by Mr. Speedway Racer stuck in the pits. But anyway, as long as he tries, he's just going to keep going round in circles.
He's now going backwards out the pits.
It's interesting.
So, unless we get a restart, he may not be able to qualify.
It's looking to be a interesting shootout.
Yeah, we know we've got Jamie and H-Racing Green, who are abnormally quick to LMP1 drivers. I believe it will be a fight out between those two for pole position. Who do you think could snatch pole for the GT3s?
I think, personally, if Massa wasn't in the Porsche, I think he'd be a top contender. But I'm looking at Kyle and I'm thinking he's just got the consistency and the pace to just snatch it away.
So
although Mata is getting a very good slipstream down the back straight. It's parabolic.
Supra, who last week changed from LMP1 to GT3, he believed it could be more competitive.
We'll have to wait and see how he does. Side by side, did parabolic.
Mata does a 49.6 on his first flyer.
I wonder if he'll just let off a little bit now, just let Super go.
He might do, and then he can just do a cool down lap. Maybe steal some more slipstream. Super, by the way, went only 2/10 slower than Mata.
I wonder if a bit of slipstream and dirty air came into play there. Well, we do have Wolfie, who's just parked up just outside the pits, just spectating people that go by, and there's confirmation of a host grid create editor. I've messed that one up. Yeah. Custom grid editor, that's what I meant to say. So iRacer isn't just stuck crashing into the pit lane and can actually race in the race.
Yeah, he's probably driving into the pit wall. We'll try and not be on board with him as Jamie sets the quickest time of this qualifying session. When the race starts, please leave ASAP. Oh yeah, they're going to restart which is very sensible. So Jamie's on pole at the moment, 6/10 ahead of H-Racing Green, and then Whiteout, I don't think has set a very competitive lap, 6 seconds off that. And then you've got the GT3s, and then Senna, and Wolfie. Where is Wolfie? Oh, my spectator is... Oh, he's behind... What? Is he behind a wall?
He's parked up next to the pit lane for me.
On my screen, he's behind the wall.
Yeah, why not?
Unless he's got a glitch as well. I'm not too sure what's going on. So that's 2 LMP1s having a little bit of trouble here at Monza at the moment.
Wesley's about to cross the line. Is this going to be a fast lap, or is this just going to be a starting one? He's starting a flyer, so we'll see where he sticks himself. Currently, Senna's getting a slipstream on Kyle.
So, put us through this track of Monza while we've on board with Wesley.
So here we go then into the Curva de Grande after doing turns 1 and 2. This is a nice long right hander. You can keep your footing pretty much all the way. No need to lift in these cars. Into turns 4 and 5. This is a tight little chicane before the Lesmos, braking relatively early, clipping the apex on the left, just going over the corner on the right, but that shouldn't slow him down too much. Watch out for the cone in the way, gets a little penalty, so that's unfortunate from there. First Lesmo then, here he goes, nice in the middle of the track, Potentially could have clipped the inside apex, but it's not to worry. Second Lesmo gets nice and early on the turn-in, brakes early, accelerates out of the corner onto the straight just before Ascari. Turns 8, 9 and 10 coming up fast, left hand, right hand, left hand. See where he brakes, then past 200, 150, 100 metres into the turn where he goes, just clips the curb round the right hand side of Ascari. Now through the fast left hander, clips the curb again, runs out wide onto the tarmac, onto the gravel. Now we go then down the main back straight towards Parabolica. Again, he's got a 0.6 second penalty, so that's unfortunate for him, slowing it down nice and early to get rid of that penalty, but we would have seen him go into Parabolica, into about third or fourth gear, nice and late on the brakes, trying to get as early as you can, putting your foot down on the run up to the line, and we will see him probably do another lap with the 12 minutes left he's got in the session.
To say he got a penalty, that's not a bad lap time, 1:47.6, and he had a couple of slowdowns as well.
It's going to be a interesting fight then. If Kyle's had a little bit of trouble on his lap, Kyle we see coming through Ascari now.
Yeah, only half a tenth separates these two boys, and we saw in Dragon Tail a little bit of a rivalry forming between the two of them. Hopefully
Indeed there was, all the way up to the final lap, I believe.
Yes, it was, and they kept it battling all the way, which is what we like to see. Because in these endurance races, as soon as someone steps away from the other, you don't really get to see a lot of action. But towards
which
the
is
line,
why there's two of us.
Towards the line, he improves by 3.5 tenths, and now 3 tenths ahead of Wesley, the quickest GT3 runner at the moment.
ILRT Jamie 0.092 ahead of H Racing Green. That's going to be an interesting battle. ALT Whiteout 9 tenths behind the third fastest LMP1 car. A little bit of a tow from his GT3 teammate, shall we say. Speed Senna has done a relatively good lap time to say where he is. He's done a 1:34.3.
He's now taking a trip in the gravel.
And he's just casually. So that
it's
puts
Whiteout.
Senna's fourth then, so that the top four LMP1s are currently Jamie, H Racing Green, Whiteout and Senna. And then it's ALT Kyle, Wesley, Matter, Supra, Wolfie and Y Racer both seem to be having some form of issues, so we'll get that sorted for the race after quali.
We will indeed. But as you know, slipstream might be very effective on this track. It is in Formula 1 and other endurance races around here.
And that's Wesley, who's crashed coming out of turn 2. Just managed to get out of the way.
Yeah,
but ALT Whiteout coming around Parabolica. He's on a relatively fast lap, I believe. Let's see if he can improve. Doesn't improve actually.
Yeah,
so that'd be disappointing for him.
Best. So 1.8 down on Jamie. He's racing Green up to the line. Can he snatch pole?
Doesn't by 0.002.
On his own best, so only 0.094 away from pole.
These lap times are going to start coming in. The later in the session we go, we're going to start seeing maybe a pit stop, get some fresh tyres on. Well, Senna's sat in the pits right now.
I feel like
well,
Senna's made a mistake, because when you exit, when you click the exit button, you go into the pits, you come back out with 100% worth of fuel. And that limits your lap time. Whereas you can see Kyle now leaving the pits, he's only got 42% of fuel, which means he's going to be running a lot quicker lap times with a lighter car. Matter now just through Ascari, 2 seconds away from the top 2 GT3 runners at the moment, coming towards Parabolica.
If we go ahead and take a little look at the lap chart, ILRT Jamie's done 8 laps, H Racing Green and Whiteout both done midway through their 7th, ILRT Matter's done 7, So was Super, but the rest of them just haven't done as many laps. So it's interesting to see how many laps they'll do in this session.
I believe they have an unlimited number of tyres, so...
Yeah, oh flip it, LRT Matters just had to go around the outside of LRT Whiteout, and that's a little turn 1 incident. Luckily, that was only in qualifying.
I don't think there's anything into it.
No.
Because Whiteout had just finished his lap. There's H Racing Greens now in provisional pole. He managed to find 2 tenths on his previous best and is now a tenth and 200ths ahead of Jamie as Jamie goes into Ascari. Nice and smooth. Doesn't run wide on the exit. Now towards Parabolica. Whiteout improved quite significantly. He's now only 6 tenths off pole.
Could make an interesting race.
Oh, as Jamie runs very wide through Parabolica.
Just about misses the curb.
No penalty for exceeding.
He's starting a flyer then this lap. Wolfie's still sat there, so he must have a glitch of some form. You'd expect him to get going by now at least. Into turn 1 and 2 then for LRT Jamie.
Ooh, a little bit of loss at the back end on the exit of turn 2, but it shouldn't affect him too much if he got the speed into the corners correct enough to gain time. We'll see what his first sector is. He's 2 tenths down, so he might bail out on this lap when seeing that delta.
I think he's either going to bail out or he's just going to now just go for a set of laps, just hope he can improve. Because sometimes you don't always find the time going for 1 lap runs, you find it consistently doing laps. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. LT Whiteout setting another lap. H Racing Green's just coming around turn 1 and 2, so relatively slowly it looks. Senna only one in the pits then, currently, that is able to set a lap.
I just noticed that White Race's car has managed to reset itself and is not spinning around in the pit lane. Wolfie's still glitched behind the pit wall.
It's interesting. Very, very interesting.
Jamie coming around Parabolica. We saw he was 2 tenths down in the first sector on this lap. He probably will go for another one. Still only 2 tenths down.
Managed to pick up a tenth though somewhere, so I think he's that middle sector. If he just nails that middle sector, I think he'll have it perfect.
Which just shows there is some improvement in his overall lap time. Just based on the fact he was 2 tenths down in the first, and then when crossing the line, he'd improved that delta.
I agree. LT Whiteout does a 32.1, so he's still improving his time. That's 3 tenths. Jamie's going quite strong. Had a little bit of a wobble there at the chicane, but nothing too bad. Can he keep his foot in through the Lesbos? First Lesbo was pretty clean. Little bit of a wobble on the exit again. Second Lesbo, bit of curb there. Maybe he wouldn't want to take that much, but hopefully this won't affect his lap too much. Flying down to Ascari then, under the tunnel of the old layout. 100 metre board, 50 metre board, just before he's 1 tenth up on the purple time. So let's see if he can beat his best time. Surely he's got it in him to be H Racing Green. It's going to be tight if he just nails Parabolica. Mata sets a 48 flat, so he's improving a little bit. Runs a little bit wide, I think Jamie does there. Maybe he wanted to keep it tighter a little bit earlier and then drift that wide, but we're going to see him take the shortest run up to the line to do a 31.5. That's 2.5 tenths, so we pretty much guessed it right then.
What a lap from Jamie, just showing why he is one of the best drivers on this platform.
LT Jamie, H Racing Green, very good drivers. LT Whiteout now's 6 tenths off Jamie, but only 3 tenths off H Racing Green, so if there's somewhere he's struggling with that just improves it, we never know. Could see him on the front row.
Could do indeed. He comes into the pits for a change of tyres. I don't think he'll need any fuel, 40% in that car, so plenty to do. couple more laps. Just noticed how long left. 3.5 minutes to go.
No movement from speed centre either.
2 flying laps. And probably just the one from Whiteout to try and snatch away a front row position for the LMP1 boys.
Indeed. The speed centre's got some tactic to go 2.7 seconds quicker with a full tank of fuel, or he's being a wise guy and realised he doesn't need to go out again because of the glitches we've got. GT3 is currently Wesley in 5th. 5 seconds back, 5 tenths back is Kyle, 7 tenths back is Matter. Super is 1.2 seconds back, and obviously that's GT3 because then we've got Wolfie and iRacer who are fortunately not.
So to say
qualifying.
the GT3 grid is basically separated by 2.5 seconds, would you say? Which isn't too bad. Matter gets a fresh set of tyres on that Porsche. He's got enough fuel, I believe, for one more flyer.
Jamie's done the same. Jamie's put fresh tyres on, kept his fuel. He had about 30 something of fuel, so I could see Jamie even improve his time while H Racing Green's midway through his lap.
But H Racing Green will probably get one more in, which is more beneficial for him. Rubbers the tyres in, burns a bit more fuel. But we don't know how old those tyres are on that Toyota.
It's very true. Nearly forgot the name again, but we'll not talk about it.
Yeah, that always leaves my mind is I know the Porsche and I know the Audi, but I always forget the Toyota.
H Racing Green might get a little bit of slipstream from Super in front, so that might help him a little bit. Not massively, but a little bit. Super's staying out of the way on the right hand side. Super's either going to have to get out of the way or go around Parabolica quickly, because this might really hinder H Racing Green.
Just because of the downforce levels that the LMP1s have compared to the GT3s, it's going to be close. Super had the racing line, but H Racing Green carried a little bit less speed. Does he improve? He doesn't, but he's got enough time to go for one more lap.
Has to be a good lap. Jamie's coming up to start a lap as well, I believe, so he's going to... Yep, this is going to be tense. It's going to be close. Wesley's on a lap as well. He's just gone fastest through he's set his personal best through the first sector. Kyle's also on a lap, I believe. If he's not, you just have enough time.
He'll have enough time for one more.
Matter is getting ready to start his lap.
Yep, and Super.
So we'll see his lap there.
This will be Super's final lap as well. So we've got Jamie just starting his final lap. H Racing Green on his final lap. He's gone purple in the first sector, has H Racing Green, but it's got a little bit of traffic of Wesley going into.
This might hinder him into the first Lesbo. Yes, it does. He will not be happy with Wesley at all.
That should be the end of qualifying for H Racing Green. He won't be improving.
No. Just look to see Jamie improve his lap time, maybe.
Yeah, he's 1.2 down. His H Racing Green, so that's qualifying for him.
Improves, but doesn't go close enough. Only two tenths, so he's getting there. Wesley's, I think, backed off his lap because of that incident with. Kyle's backed off his lap as well. ILRT Matter's going for it, I think, so we're going to have just ILRT Matter and Jamie to finish.
One more for Jamie. He's coming up towards Parabolica. He was purple in the second sector, but only by 14 thousandths of a second. It doesn't have any traffic in front. It does have Super in front, but it's way in front to cause any issues.
If anything, this will help him slightly because of the slipstream we'll get.
And up towards the line, does he improve? We already know he's guaranteed pole. He does improve by a stonking 3 tenths.
That is an exceptional time. Them fresh tyres helped him massively. ILRT Matter then on his final lap. I think he's going to be the last one to improve.
Whiteout is on the lap, but I'm not too sure it's Delta.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't quite see that actually. He's 8 seconds down. He's miles down.
Okay, so Matter
so
our
we see
final
ILRT
runner.
Matter then.
Can he take
Parabolica.
essentially pole position away from Wesley? He needs to find 1.9 seconds to Wesley.
It's a lot to find, especially in that Porsche, which we know isn't too fast, but he doesn't even improve, unfortunately for him. So that, then, unless Whiteout is not on a lap. that is our grid.
It is. So Jamie takes pole for the LMP1s, with Wesley having a substantial 9/10 lead over his rival Kyle for P1 for the GT3s. And we're going to see... Oh, Wolfie's finally on track. Wait, what? He's gone straight on at turn 1 and 2.
I mean, at least he's on track.
21-minute out lap. Excellent. And we have Senna and YAC in the pits.
I think that's potentially Wolfie's AI.
Could be.
Although I'm not too sure.
I think it might be him, because it's not ghosted. If it was his AI, it'd be ghosted.
Yeah, that's very true. So, as you can see, the grid is set. Well, the grid is nearly set.
We should be resetting, I believe. We've just got a
We
comment
should be resetting
in the stream. From Matter. Evening. Is everybody on the grid? Everyone is on the grid. Y-Race is there and Wolfie's there. Super Matter, Kyle, Wesley, Senna, Whiteout. Everyone is on the grid, so here we go then. Rolling start.
Y-Race is spinning around in circles.
Ah, so we might need to restart.
So we are resetting. At least we should be.
Yeah, everyone back off, yeah. And
Jamie's
and it's lights out of the way we spin for the Italian Grand Prix. So we will be doing a reset. We'll keep the stream going.
Alon Matter, this might be the first time you'll see him in pole with Speed Senna.
In P1 with Speed Senna. Oh, and Matter's the only one left on the grid.
And Matter crosses the line to win. Imagine the scenes.
And race has been cancelled. We'll keep streaming, we'll keep it going, and we'll see a fixed
No
grid.
need. Should be a quick restart, so if we...
What's your prediction then, Mr. Risky?
I have a feeling this is going to be Jamie's to take. For the LMP ones especially.
For the GT3?
GT3, I think Kyle's got very good racecraft, and we saw, not last week, the week before, that him and Wesley can fight well, and when they both fight, it proves to be an interesting race. So, I think the only reason there was a little bit of questionable contact was because of a lapping LMP1. So, providing the LMP1s keep it clean and get out of the way, or at least get past safely,
make their way through as cleanly as possible.
And I think we're in for a good Wesley versus Kyle fight with potentially LRT Matter if you can stick it on the back of them. Interested to see as well if Y-Racer and Wolfie are starting at the back, how quickly they make it through. If they'll get through before turn 1.
That could be interesting, yeah, because as
be,
much as they are quicker getting off the line, it's not really the longest run down to turn 1, and then if the GT3s are bunched up and the LMP1s are bunched up, it's going to be very difficult for them to get through.
Exactly, it's going to drop them a few seconds back as well, so if you've got somebody like Speed Senna who's going to be out in third and fourth fighting with the Whiteout, and if those two are battling significantly, is there going to be a chance for Wolfie, who we know is quick, and Y-Racer, who we've seen is quick, come in and...
He's left and I think he's going to rejoin.
See if Speed Y-Race is actually fixes the issue. Wolfie's back in, so Wolfie is here and racing, so unfortunately didn't set a quality time, but that could be a tactic. That could be because he knows that he can go long in this race and go fast towards the end. He might have a strategic tactic. It's 2-stop mandatory pit stops, so anything could happen. That's a spinning Speed Senna out the pits.
Back into the lobby. Hopefully, this is now fixed.
Speed Senna's doing some donuts.
I had to remember to click spectate, otherwise it'll screw me over.
Bit of stream action, Speed Senna spinning, causing yellow flags. As Matter comes out of the pits.
I think we'll go off Senna because he's just doing donuts. Or trying to do donuts.
Matter's going to get a bit of a shock.
As Jamie's hitting his tyres for some random reason. Going towards
and Y-Race has managed to get out of the pits, I believe.
He has indeed, he is on track. 98 Porsche 919 is on track.
Parked up just in front of Speed Center. There goes Supra, parking up on the right. Everybody starts to park up on the right hand side. So all 10 drivers.
Green goes flying through.
All 10 drivers are now ready. Crashing through turn 1.
Oh, as Jamie goes through H Racing Green.
Oh, that Ultimata. Spinning at turn 2.
So if everyone else leaves the pits, could be. Oh, a Supra's blowing up polystyrene arrows.
Just Wolfie to leave the pits, I think, and then the two.
Wolfie car, whiteout. Ah, here we go, start the final.
Finals beginning.
I think the grid's been fixed to what it should be, so. We could be getting on the racing in a few moments. So you think Jamie will take the victory in the LMP1s, and who was your money on in the GT3s?
Well, my money was on Wesley with potentially Kyle, so it's all to play for still, I think, the GT3s.
We noticed Y Racers in P5, but but Wolfie's at the back, so we'll see what happens.
That's interesting.
Here we go then.
This car's not got going again.
Who's his?
Y Racers car. It's caused a bit of a massive pile-up.
Oh no. So we are green for
and it's
racing.
lights out. But Wesley's got a massive lead already in the GT3 cars.
But it's nose to tail for the 4 LMP1s as we get a red flag. Oh, and there's huge.
That's Super in the background, and that's a massive incident in turn 1. Speed Taylor's in first again.
What is happening to my racer's car? It's just, I don't get this glitch.
Hashtag blame GT Sport. So we're going to have a little intermission, guys, just, you know, before you all start to panic and think there's no race. Just get yourself a drink, have a relax. We'll be racing shortly for this hour-and-a-half race. Current time's 7 PM. Race supposed to finish in about an hour and 10. But unfortunately, it'll probably finish closer to 9 PM UK time. Little also rest in peace, Caroline Flack. Throw that out there. Controversial, I know, but still, you got to respect the dead.
You do indeed.
Super telling Y Racer to clear his cache, restart his game, restart his PS4, restart his internet. Literally.
It says he's restarted everything.
2 minutes, so Y Racer has restarted everything.
I think we should just restart the whole lobby. Everyone leave the lobby and start again.
Not qualified though, I can't be bothered to sit through another 20 minutes.
No, you can easily, you can easily fix the grid.
The life of a commentator. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can say. You have to fix the game your way. Real though, I don't have all night. Another 10 minutes of delays and I can't race. Yeah, another 10 minutes of delays and commentator's gonna be a tight squeeze for me as well, Mr. H Racing Green. But that's why there's 2 of us, because we could power on even if someone else dies. Looks like we're not remaking the lobby, so if Y Race is actually
I think that race is done completely.
Oh yes, so he is. This is going to be an interesting race then. We've just Wolfie coming from the back.
We don't have time. We don't have time, do we?
And there's ILRT Jamie who's just done a very nice J-turn. That was impressive.
I need to remember to spectate, that'd be a good idea.
H Racing Green's also crashed. Maybe next week I'll do the streaming.
Huh? Yeah.
Maybe next week it will be me doing the streaming.
Nah.
Just speed center to enter and then we're good to go. So there is still seats available in.
Davis, get your arse into gear.
You know, little commentators promo at speed_risky44 and a that's me and a you know speed King2.
Jamie driving backwards on the track, he is indeed. This is great. Great banter.
It's very windy, so I kind of really apologise for that. But speed_Knighton, speed_risky44, that's us in the com box. Let's hope this race isn't boring because we've got 1 hour 30 minutes to sit through. We need something to talk about.
Indeed.
One more racer then.
Oh.
Super boy.
Tottenham, you disgusting.
And he's in. So there we go then.
Right, Davis is on track, Yoi's on track. Please, no glitches.
To the glitch gods of GT Sport, let this race start how it was meant to finish.
Right, for the third
piece.
time, is this third time? Third time's the charm. We should be going green.
2 Toyotas.
If you'd already forgotten, Jamie's on pole, racing green in second. Whiteout third, Senna fourth, Wesley fifth, or so knows pole in the GT3s. And then you got Kyle, Mata, Supra, and then at the back you have the 2 LMP1s. We spoke about this. How quickly can they get through the field to start attacking their way towards the top 4?
And Y Racer's car's got spinning again. So Y Racer will not be partaking in this race. Yeah. Unless he can control the car when the race gets going.
But anyway, we'll go green for racing, and Jamie's got a decent start, and we might see Whiteout attacking Hayes Racing Green into...
Wolfie's already up into 5th, so that's how quickly he's got into catching the back of these cars.
Whiteout up the inside into turn 1, Hayes Racing Green later onto the brakes and had the racing line. Whiteout not stupid enough to go up the inside.
Super ahead of Mata, but nothing too special there. Kyle on the back of Wesley. Like I said, this is going to be a battle that's going to happen pretty much all night, I feel.
I don't think they're close enough to be making any moves into turn 3 and 4.
Our Lottie Mata's already started to drop back just a little bit, but they are very close in the GT3 cars as Kyle's pushing Wesley around the little chicane there. So this is going to be interesting to see coming through the 2 Lesmos. Kyle maybe even looking to throw it down the inside, but just keeps his car behind going into the second Lesmo. So this is going to be a drag race between the Aston Martin and the Nissan.
On the exit of the Sky, Jamie still leads from Hayes Racing Green, Whiteout. Senna is in the gravel.
Off.
Down to P5, Wolf up to P4, but in towards the Sky for the GT3s. Wesley still ahead of Kyle.
Still ahead. No change up front then into Parabolica either. Has the Nissan got the power to hold off from the Aston? Looks like the Aston's closing, but not quite enough into Parabolica, so there might be a chance into turn 1 and 2, but that Nissan is quite quick in a straight line.
It is indeed. What can Kyle do? We know that slipstream can be very effective on this game, but on this track especially with 2 or 3 very long straights for slipstream. I think Wesley's got enough of a gap to hold off into turn 1.
It's going to be a, I think through the second sector especially, Kyle's going to have to get that car in a perfect position because Wesley is squirming out the corners a little bit more than Kyle would. We're going to see Super and Ilotty and Mata start battling at some point as well.
Both of those drivers got a little bit of a time penalty. Super with 1 second, Mata down to 0.1. But they're not falling back as much as you would believe compared to the qualifying times between these drivers, as Kyle takes the orange curb over turn 5, and Super has an extra half a tenth penalty. Essentially, he followed the same line as Carl, but gets a penalty for it.
So Wolfie's just sort of sitting at that 2.5 second mark. He's got a penalty now, so he'll drop back a little bit further as well. And you see Speed Senna's trying his hardest to climb back up, so he's also got a penalty in the same place. He's staying around that 8.2-ish mark, so it's going to be a long one. I feel like the GT3s we're going to see some racing, as LMP1 Matters right on the back of Super, as well as Kyle, who's on the back of Wesley, but not quite enough to get him into Parabolica yet, whereas the Porsche straight line speed just isn't quite enough, I don't think, for this Mercedes, although he is gaining still, little bit by little bit. So it's going to be wanted to turn.
Oh, Super was wide into Parabolica, and that gifts the move, or should I say the position to Massa. Super down to 9th, Massa to 8th, and 2.6 seconds behind Kyle and Wesley.
Kyle's still not quite close enough on this time around either. He's got to nail the perfect Ascari to get on the back.
But H Racing Green has had an incident and has fallen away from the top 4, and was literally a couple of tenths behind Jamie. But he might have had an incident with Whiteout, because Whiteout is now 3.5 seconds behind.
That's
interesting. Back a little bit, so there could have been a little bit of an incident between Whiteout and H Racing Green.
H Racing Green is now catching back up to Wolfie, so Wolfie's managed to go from pretty much last on the grid up to P3. Let's see if he can hold that, see how well his defensive driving is against one of the quicker drivers of the LMP1 cars. And it's a 8/10 penalty for Wesley, so this is going to come into Kyle's play right nice. Supra's got back in front of Matta, so I'm assuming that was on the straight into turn 1.
Oh, Matta could have made a mistake as well.
That's true. Wesley's pulled a little gap on Kyle for now.
But does Matta go for a move on the inside of Supra into Ascari? Then nose to tail into Ascari. Can Matta get a better exit? Supra with that time penalty. But as this is an endurance race, these penalties can be removed very quickly and easily. He's going into corners up towards Parabolica.
Hasn't got the top speed. The acceleration's there. The straight line speed isn't, but Matta's going to get that Parabolica pretty nicely again. He's going to down the inside. He goes. He's going to keep that position for now as Supra goes back on to the track. But can Supra get in that slipstream and come down his inside? It looks like he's going to do exactly that. Down the inside he goes. That top speed of the Mercedes is good, but can he get the braking right with the overspeed that he's got? Just about slows it down into turn 1 and 2. He's going to have a little bit of a wobble on the curb, but LMP Matta's going to want this position back, then pushing him essentially around Curva Grande we go, and that's just given the little boost that Super wanted. So we'll see if LMP Matta can close that gap back up. And as we look further forward, Kyle's still sticking 7-8 tenths behind Wesley. Just clearly knows it's a long race. We are only 7 minutes in, so he's got time, plenty of time.
Notice as well, H Racing Green pulled his way back up to P3, got by Wolfie, and is now looking to charge down towards Whiteout. That gap is 5.2, hopefully within about, I would say, 10 laps. You could probably catch that up as long as Whiteout keeps a straight head.
Yeah, I agree.
Doesn't make any mistakes.
Lap 12 to 13, I think we're going to start to see. It's going to start to like pushing him around corners, maybe. See, unless Whiteout gives him that position, that's going to be an interesting fight to watch.
Well, we'll see if Matta can do it 3 out of 3 into Parabolica. We noticed Super's very poor on the brakes. He seems to outbrake himself to defend into Parabolica. This time he doesn't run that wide, but Matta's going to slide it up the inside. He's got the nose in there, he's got the line, and this could be still side by side, but Matta gets through. But we know the Porsche's not quick in a straight line. Super's going to come back at him. Matta defends the inside. Super goes for the outside into turn 1, and I believe that could be moved done way before the braking zone of turn 1, and Super is back in front. That Porsche is not the greatest car for this track at all. No real top speed and no real speed in the slipstream either.
It's, Porsche is very much a corner and acceleration opposed to top speed and long straights, which is good for certain tracks but not necessarily Monza. But just remember that Super does have a 1.1 second penalty, so Mata will just be able to bide his time a little bit as long as he stays within that gap. Oh, Super has a wiggle as well on the exit, so this is going to be even closer, getting up to the Lesmos and through Ascari. Kyle's a little bit closer on this occasion as well to Wesley, coming up towards Ascari, so not too far in front of the road. Wesley has a 5/10 penalty. There's no real battles going on in front. ART Whiteout 3.7. The gap still 5.3, 5.2 to E-Tracing Green, so he's doing alright. Wolfie's got a pretty chill race at the minute, 3.2 back, so he's clawing a little bit of time back. Senna, unfortunately, with that incident into the gravel, he's quite a far. He's got a fair gap in front, but he's still significant away back from Wolfie, so we'll see how this race goes for him. Still a long race, so just keep his head down and get fighting.
Indeed, as these drivers should know, it's not a sprint, it's an endurance. It's not all won on lap 1 or even lap 10. There's an hour and 20 still to go, and as we've seen in previous races, within the final half an hour incidents can happen, and
oh, that's Super, sorry to interrupt you there. Super's got straight on at turn 1, got reset, and that was not the best thing for him because Massa had an awful run out of Parabolica, so Super had that in the bag pretty much into turn 1, and then he's just outbroken. So this is going to be a interesting fight now. Can Super just get back up to pace with Mata on the straights, or is he going to have to
worry about for now? Jamie goes up the inside into turn 4. Super's indicating for him to turn right, and
that indication was probably just to say where he was going, just so Jamie knew fully. We were going to have Whiteout coming up behind him as well, so that's quick. I didn't quite expect him to be lapping so soon. I know it's lap 7.
It's with this track, it's there's no real corners, and it's all about straight line speed. And we know the top end speed of these LMP1s is a lot greater than the GT3s, so that's where they're gaining their advantage, and the downforce. So you can see the speed difference that they can carry through the Ascari is a lot greater, and obviously.
Oh, that's the speed sender backwards through the first Lesbo. He's had an absolute nightmare there. He's just through the gravel nice and slowly, so I wonder if this is going to be him retiring, because he's just going in an absolute straight line right now, which would be a shame to see, but this car's not making any effort to go back onto the track. And there he goes. So this is Wolfie coming up to lap Super as well. Wolfie's been consistently quick.
What's that gap now between Mata and Super? 4.4, and now Mata's only just being caught up by H-Racing Green.
That's not going to cost either driver. So
closest battle.
Wesley and Kyle.
And now that they're getting lapped, this could be in favour of Kyle if Wesley has to get out of the way, but Jamie got through very easily.
Wesley did have to put the brakes on a little bit just to ensure Jamie got through without hindrance, so this is even closer. This is the closest we've seen these two at this part of the track. We can see the Nissan with the acceleration just pulls away. We know the Aston Martin's got top speed. It's just, I think he's going to have to do it into Parabolica or turn 1, because I don't think that little straight before Ascari is enough. But again, we're going to see Whiteout, not Whiteout, is that H-Racing Green coming up behind them?
It is. So Whiteout's had a little incident, unless he's gone to the pits. Whiteout pitted. I don't know whether you could check on the.
Can have a look.
Have a look to see Whiteout's pitted, because he was second. He's now 17 seconds off the lead, so I think Whiteout's pitted.
I wish it'd tell me, if I'm perfectly honest. I wish it would tell me.
Let me have a little look.
He's definitely dropped 2 positions. Oh, is that number? Oh no, that was just my eyes playing tricks on me. For a second, someone had. Oh, this is gonna really hinder the battle between Wesley and Kyle. It didn't really, but just Whiteout going around the outside. Oh, yeah, no. Scrap that. He's Wolfie.
Green? Because they'd already got by these 2, and now he's back behind them.
I think that must have been a mistake, because I don't think he's pitted, unless... This is a interesting little race we've got going on. This slightly hindered Kyle there. Kyle's got a penalty now as well, so this little battle for the lead in the GT3s is going on and on and on. There's Whiteout.
Quite easily, yeah. Kyle, no rolls there. So yeah, I think Age Racing Green made a mistake on this lap because it was 7.8 seconds down on his delta. Not too sure that. That's not a large enough gap for it to be an issue if he'd gone in the pit. So I think a very big mistake from Age Racing Green once again. I might have a little look back on the stream just to see if anybody did actually pit, but I'm pretty sure it's just mistakes from these 2 drivers.
Which is unfortunate, but you never know, it provides us with a little bit more exciting racing. Kyle does have this penalty, but that's not going to be affected too bad, because this gap stayed about 6 to 7 tenths. This pretty much majority of this race, and we're only 9 laps in, with an hour and 15 left.
Yes, indeed.
We're only 15 minutes in. This is mad.
Yeah, on lap 7, H Racing Green was in 2nd, Wolfie 3rd, Whiteout was down to 4th, so just scroll back a bit. Yeah, I think Whiteout, I can't tell. Oh, I got a black bloody thing above my.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh wait, we can see. No, I can see now. Jamie got through on Wesley and Kyle, and Whiteout I think made a mistake. Yeah, because Whiteout made a big mistake and drops down to 4th, and then further along with H Racing Green.
H Racing Green must have been a mistake.
H Racing Green made a mistake as well. So a lot of the LMP1 drivers finding it very tricky to keep it on the track.
It's such a high-speed track, so we've seen obviously drivers that have either just missed a braking zone even slightly, and it's caused them massive issues. But H Racing Green is hunting down Wolfie now, so it's one to keep the eye on, especially now Wolfie's got a penalty. And again, Kyle on the round Parabolica on the back of Wesley, but just isn't quite close enough again. With
I think for Kyle to get in front of Wesley, an undercut might be needed.
I'd probably have to say you're right there in this instance, especially.
The gap hasn't really changed. We've seen Kyle right at the back of Wesley's rear wing, and no real effect of the slipstream is helping the Aston Martin to get anywhere near overtaking Wesley. So I think an undercut is needed if Kyle wants to win this race.
Oh yeah, totally agree with you. ILRT Jamie's just chilling, 14.5 seconds gap now, and improving to Wolfie. Wolfie is going to be holding up H Racing Green a little bit with this fighting, and Whiteout is still not too far behind, so it's close between the top guys, apart from Jamie, who, if providing he doesn't make a mistake, a big mistake, has a little bit of leniency on when he pits.
I also believe we're yet to see a pit stop yet. I noticed Matter is quite far behind Kyle and Wesley at the moment, but Supra hasn't got back in front. Therefore, I believe a mistake has been made rather than
pit stop. No, it would have come up. It would have showed a pit stop, and I haven't seen it. So Supra and Matter, I think, just starting to fall off the pace a little bit. Supra in that Mercedes should be realistically catching Matter on the straights. Like you said earlier, it's a very top speed track with Matt, but Matt is driving his Mercedes very well, his Porsche very well. Does have a rather large penalty though, but he'll slowly start to come bring that down.
So who will be first to blink? As Wolfie makes it a very interesting line through turn 5. Does he get another penalty? I'm not too sure. But this gives H Racing Green a little bit of a chance to get into the slipstream. Let's go through the Lesmos. And now H Racing Green on the back of Wolfie towards the Ascari. I don't think Wolfie's going to fight it too much. He covers the inside. And they're going to be side by side into the braking zone of Ascari. Wolfie just about gives H Racing Green enough space as he made the move around the outside. But Wolfie's going to come back at him as he got the better exit out of Ascari towards Parabolica then. H Racing Green covering the inside. Wolfie goes around the outside in Parabolica. They're still side by side, these two LMP1s. And Wolfie just about hangs on. And now they're still going to go side by side.
That Audi's got a little bit more speed, as you can see here, so it's going to be a battle in the late breakers, unless H Racing Green does a Daniel Ricciardo-esque move. Oh, that was a pit stop as well, was it not? That was Super in the pit, yep.
Oh, Wolfie's gone very deep into turn 1 to try and outbrake H Racing Green. He had the straight line speed going into turn 1, he had the position, but made the mistake and gifts H Racing Green P2.
Don't give up on it too late. To the inside he goes then, in towards the chicane, first chicane. Gets late on the brakes, just keeps his car perfectly placed. He's going to squeeze out H Racing Green, and hopefully then... Oh, H Racing Green's going to come round the outside to the first Lesbo. That's a risky move. Not quite paid off, but I have a feeling... Again, down the inside, he does a little look, keeps the car back in that third position, but a good exit there from him. Gets him round the outside
and
into
takes
P2.
He does take P2, but we saw the straight line speed of Wolfie. Wolfie's going to go for the inside into Ascari once again. There's no contact between them two, nice and clean. H Racing Green holds on to that position for now, as Wolfie gets a little bit of a slide on the exit, getting on the AstroTurf on the right hand side, but H Racing Green covers the inside into Parabolica. Wolfie round the outside, retakes P2. They're still side by side. H Racing Green takes the tighter line through Parabolica, and Wolfie has P2 once again. But this battle is not over just yet. H Racing Green into the slipstream of Wolfie towards turn 1. Unless Wolfie outbrakes himself once again as he did on the previous lap, this should be position held for Wolfie, and it is indeed.
No, it's not though, because he's absolutely...
he's made a mistake again.
Oh, but that's slowed H Racing Green right down as well. So even though H Racing Green is going to get it front round Curve de Grande, Wolfie's got the fastest car. LT Whiteout,
keep an eye out for Whiteout.
Right,
I was just going to say that. Wolfie now going to go around the outside of H Racing Green into turn 4. H Racing Green hangs on. Wolfie takes a little bit of a corner cut there, and will there be some team orders between Whiteout and Wolfie? Wolfie still down in Wolfie 3rd and Whiteout 4th, and now H Racing Green has got a little bit of breathing space with that little bit of mistake, and Wolfie loses the rear end on the exit of the first Lesmo, and that could be battle over as Whiteout gets in front of Wolfie, and you could just hold your breath for all of that. A bit of excitement finally in this race, and hopefully we can see more of that with an hour and 8 minutes to go.
I'm sure that will happen once again in the future. These drivers though are very that was a very good bit of battle for a couple of laps we've seen.
I think we have our first pit stop. I don't see Matter in the Porsche making a pit stop. Did you say Super pit? I think he has.
I think
with
Super
that,
has
with that gap. Super now running up towards Parabolica. Matter is getting a lot of fuel in the car. Not too sure how much is going. He's put the Super Softs back on, I believe.
So full tank of fuel. So he's got the tyre for it. Supra's only just come round Parabolica, so going long. I love Team Matter, but Kyle is again still behind Wesley. That same gap that hasn't really changed. For this is just going to be the same old. But H-Racing Green's coming up to lap him, so Whiteout and Wolfie can't be far off. And Whiteout has even gained on H-Racing Green, which I did not see coming. So this again is going to be an interesting battle.
It is. And what you can tell about these two, Kyle and Wesley, neither of them are making mistakes. Wesley's not feeling any pressure from Kyle behind, and as that H-Racing Green is through, and will Kyle give Whiteout the benefit of the doubt and let him through easier? And
no, he's going to give him a push.
Is now through.
Bump drafting is not allowed with the GT3 cars, so that must have been accidental because didn't look intentional. But down the inside, oh, that was risky for Wolfie.
He's ghosting now, and he's going to have the inside of Wesley as well. The gap's still not changed between these two. No matter how many cars they let through, neither of them are making mistakes. Neither of them are losing time.
Such a good race between both of them. Just going to see who gets the undercut. If Kyle doesn't pit first, has he got the fuel and the tyres to go extra long into this race?
Yes, indeed. We've had 25 minutes of racing, 14 laps. They're all, I believe, on super softs. They're doing very well to manage their tyres and fuel at the moment. As you do, if you can save your tyres and save fuel in the earlier stints, you can
Kyle
do less
and
stints.
Wesley both on softs and not super softs.
Other than softs.
So yeah, they're both mirroring each other.
They are indeed. So both drivers are probably doing a little bit of fuel management, to be fair.
Go long, go short then. Maybe one of them has to change it up. Maybe one of them will just pit. Maybe one of them's two-stop, maybe there's one-stop. And again, it's the soft tyre. Anything could happen. Two-stop race as well, so it's necessary that they pit twice.
So I would say, if they're going to manage to do half an hour on a set of softs, and they need to stop twice, depending how far they can stretch these tyres, it'd be interesting to know how much fuel each of them have in their cars at the moment, so that we could get a guess of how long they can go. Wolfie pits with nothing left in the tank. The first of the LMP1s to pit.
I think we're going to see a three-stop from a couple of these drivers, Matter especially, unless he really is planning to just fuel save all the way. He's put the super softs back on, like we said. So he's just...
yeah, he also put all of the fuel you can in the car. So whether he's just going all guns blazing, burning as much fuel as he can, and not tyre save, or he's just put enough fuel in that he doesn't need to put as much in for the next couple of stints.
Currently then, my prediction of Jamie in P1 as well as Wesley's holding out, but Kyle, like I said, is right on the back, but just not close enough. So this is an interesting battle. Whiteout and H-Racing Green aren't far apart either, so if Wolfie could get an undercut here, he's gone straight on across the chicane. That's reset him. So Wolfie undercut looking more unlikely now.
Yeah, he was 29 seconds behind Whiteout with that little bit of force back on track from trying a corner cut. He's lost 5 seconds. So any time that he has gained with those fresh tyres has been taken away from him.
Super is still 10 seconds behind Matter, so Matter's got his own race. So this is
tyres to go on, and how much fuel does he put in?
Undercut then.
Undercut on H-Racing Green, very sensible.
Soft.
How much fuel
Wolfie's
does
put the softs on. I think this is going to be a full tank of fuel.
Wolfie comes round, power bottom hill, Whiteout coming out the pits.
Yeah, that's so a full tank of fuel for Whiteout, maybe not quite a full tank for Wolfie.
Super softs, did I read that right? Yeah, super softs for Whiteout. Wolfie, as you said, was on softs.
So
Wolfie going longer then, but Whiteout's got the fuel.
The gap is now 30 seconds to H-Racing Green, so it needs to pull that down.
So that'll be about 26 seconds for a pit stop with change of tyres and a full tank of fuel put in.
So if H Racing Green's going to do the same, pitting this lap for H Racing Green would be the best option, unless he can just extend the gap further.
Or, well, what with this system of refueling, it cuts down your pit time if you put less fuel in. Obviously, if you put less fuel in, you might have to do a little bit more fuel saving towards the end of your stint.
Our LTJ was nearly a pit stop out of the lead, coming to lap matter for what could probably be the third, maybe fourth time. So this race is quite exciting.
And Jamie's on lap 19.
So the third time then, just lapped.
And Supra hasn't made any gains on Matter, even with the straight line speed advantage.
And ALT Whiteout has lost 2 seconds that lap as well, so maybe the full tank of fuel is a long strategy opposed to the get him on the undercut. Kyle and Wesley still at the same gap, neither car yet to pit. So
yeah, the undercut could possibly work. You might get the fresher tyres on Whiteout's car, but you've got the heavier car. So you've got to brake a lot earlier into corners, carry less speed.
I think if they're both doing a 2-stop race and they both put the same tyres on, I think it's going to be down to Kyle burning more fuel when Wesley doesn't, just to get that car as fast as possible, because it's similar pace, but just the acceleration of the Nissan is just keeping Wesley at that steady gap. Indeed, although it's even closer now. Kyle potentially could look
he got an extra run out of turn 5 into Lesmo. What Kyle needs to do is just get the better exit out of corners, but that Nissan has better acceleration. So you think with how close these two are, you think Kyle could get in the slipstream and maybe even have a little look at the inside, but because of that straight line speed of the Nissan, it's going nowhere.
The closest we've seen these two drivers today is probably going into the Lesmos, because it's such a tight track. It allows Kyle to just tight piece the track, shall I say. It's just allows Kyle to close up that little bit further. And if he can get a brilliant run out the second Lesmo, that will hopefully set him up for Parabolica. But if he gets in front, can he stay in front?
Yeah, exactly. As we saw with the battling between H Racing Green and Wolfie, we saw that H Racing Green may be the quicker driver in terms of pace, but Wolfie's Audi is got such a lot more straight line speed, acceleration.
Oh, that's Super. He's had an incident. Is that just, where's that? Oh, that's just coming out of Lesmo 2. So I wonder if he's run wide or hit the inside curve, but he's out of the session, unfortunately for him. So that promotes, well, doesn't promote anyone, but it puts less pressure on Matter. So Matter now basically just has a free race ahead of him to
a podium.
Free race for the podium, indeed.
With 58 minutes to go. Jamie's still yet to pit. What is that gap between H Racing Green and Whiteout? 23.5.
Whiteout's, yeah.
So more time lost for Whiteout.
I think Whiteout's playing the long game, seeing if H Racing Green either's going to run out, potentially to run out of fuel, or he's just going to maybe Whiteout leave a 2-stop. You never know. It's a possibility. I think Jamie's got this one in the bag as he goes past the battle for P1, the GT3s.
Yeah, Jamie's got not only a pit stop in hand in time, but this is quite interesting that H Racing Green hasn't pitted, which means he's done better on tyres and fuel compared to Whiteout, and he's not really losing time to Whiteout either. With Whiteout,
I wonder if
tyres.
Whiteout pushed when Wolfie and H Racing Green were fighting a lot. I wonder if Whiteout used everything he had then to make a bigger impact than just sitting back and waiting. Because
get yourself involved in the battle and try and try and make up any lost time that was made when he made the incident when he was up into P2.
I think this midfield battle for, well, I say midfield, it's P1 for the GT3 cars is going to be it's going to be very similar. I think we're going to have to either see the lapped cars getting in the way heavily, or some form of massive incident between.
Yeah,
Not even necessarily an incident, just to be like too much pressure gets to Wesley's head and he makes a mistake.
Racing Green in the pits, by the way.
This is going to be interesting then.
And he had 2% left of fuel, so that's what lap did Whiteout pit? Was that lap like 3 laps, 4 laps ago?
Yeah, 18, 17.
18,
so.
and he managed to take the fuel 4 more laps longer, tyres 4 more laps longer, and he hasn't put as much fuel in because that gap is now 10 seconds.
10 seconds. I wonder if H Racing Green still thinks Jamie is going to make a mistake, because H Racing Green, if he keeps going how he's going and Jamie makes a big mistake, locks up, whatever, gets a penalty, gets reset, anything like that, could still cause him to start to lose his concentration out in the lead and then slip up from there. It's still 56 minutes to go on the dot, so, and Jamie pits then with 1% of fuel left in the car.
Well, when you're out in front with such a lead, you have no real reason to push. You can save your tyres, you can save your fuel save. How much fuel does he quite put in? He's going back on the super soft, I believe. And he's done 35 minutes on the first stint. Soft tyres on the Toyota.
He's come out behind the battle for P1 in the GT3, so this is going to be potentially helpful. Although Kyle, I noticed, is starting to drop back just a little bit, 1 second. So he's maybe now would be a good time for Kyle to pit if Wesley had saved up all his fuel and tyres and then absolutely gone for it. Kyle's not going to be in the best of positions.
Jamie's through on Kyle. Jamie is through on Wesley. H Racing Green has left the session. What has happened there?
That's a
shock.
Unfortunate event. That puts Whiteout up into third. Wolfie Whiteout to second. Wolfie to third. So Wolfie's going to get a podium now. So we basically have 2 podiums.
6 cars left. 50
Wesley
minutes to go.
Wesley versus Kyle. It's going to be a long 50 minutes for us in the commentary box.
With this battle then. And neither of them have pit yet. No shock really, just based on tyres, but fuel management must have been very good indeed. But when Wesley's got essentially the fastest straight line speed car, he can save a bit more fuel.
So that's Kyle in the pits and Wesley in the pits.
Car, you can see, had a little bit more fuel in the car.
So this is interesting then. It must have been tyres, because Wesley must have just gone for it then. Last
Wesley
lap.
almost ran out of fuel. Carl had plenty of fuel, so probably tyres.
Kyle's chosen to go slightly earlier.
Which comes
Get
out first.
ahead.
Oh, it's very tight between the two. Ghosting through, but you can just see that acceleration from the Nissan is incredibly OP and retakes the lead as blue flags are waved once again because Whiteout is catching up with them both.
On his way, and this is just going to take place, regain and take place how it was before, and this is just going to be a consistent gap, I'd imagine. Matter's doing well. There's only 20 seconds back, which is quite good to see. He dropped back a significant period, so he's climbing a little bit of time back. Oh, and that was an off for Whiteout, so this means the GT3's nearly got through. Probably a bit of a put off for Wesley, that actually, as well.
Could we see some Apex tactics coming into play? You wouldn't think so. Being in two different categories, running their own races.
Whiteout's gone off into the distance, so think not. So after 21 laps, final RT Jamie, 52 minutes left in the session. Jamie is 35 seconds now in front with H Racing Green, who we've lost, along with Y Racer Senna Supra as well. So AOT Whiteout then, 17.2 in front of Wolfie. Wolfie is significantly in front of the GT3s, but that's the podium and the only finishes so far for the LMP1s. GT3s, Wesley, who's 1.3 in front of Kyle, so Kyle's had a little bit of a slip, a little bit of a drop back, because these two have been right to each other. Now LT Matter in the Porsche is just chilling in P6, which is also P3 for the GT3 standings.
So that gap between Wesley and Kyle up to 1.5, and I think Wesley might pull away now based on the fact that Kyle is now out of any form of, well, he's still within a little bit of slipstream, but not enough, not as much as he was getting, and we know that the straight line speed of that
potential slipstream there from Wolfie given to Kyle, but not major. Wolfie's going to get past Wesley easily. So the gap has come down a little bit. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, you go on. You were talking about the gap.
The gap has come down a little bit, but I do feel like Kyle's going to have to really go for it if he wants to keep that fight alive, because Kyle has to give it everything. He has to do a Lewis Hamilton hammer time-esque thing and just outdrive his car.
Yeah, but as you can see in the straight line, I was just looking at the delta, even though Carl was in the slipstream, it was slowly increasing between the two of them. But as I was going to say a little bit earlier, what could change these two's positions is if they were to get caught up with an LMP1, say going into turn 1 and 2, or going into the chicane rather than going up towards the chicane, because then the LMP1 could slow one of them up. I think Kyle got a better exit than Wesley out of turn 2.
Yeah, Kyle threw his car into turn 1 and just caught it perfectly to give him that better exit, whereas Wesley was a little bit slower over the curve. So if Kyle's going to start becoming more aggressive, which you can kind of see because he's having to catch the back end, which isn't going to help him, this race will become more and more interesting. Both drivers still on the softs as well. So, tyre-wise, Jamie out in front on the softs, Wolfie, P3, rounding up the LMP1s on the softs, Wesley and Kyle on the softs, and then Matter and Whiteout, one of each driver of each car on the super soft. So those two have to pit again. Everybody has to pit again, but those two have to change their tyres. Actually, so did Kyle and Wesley, because they started on soft. So they're both going for a super soft push to the end, unless they have to stop again for any reason, which shouldn't seem to be an issue. If they run out of fuel with 1 lap to go, they're still going to have to pit.
Exactly. I feel one more pit stop at least for everyone left on the grid, and I think that this battle will go down to that. I wasn't 100% sure how much fuel either driver put in. We know Kyle had more going into the pits, which means he could have put less in overall, which is why he came out a little bit ahead, but because of the straight line speed and acceleration on this end went ahead. Oh, a little bit of a mistake from what I could see from Wesley. Went a little bit too deep into turn 2, but hasn't lost him too much time to Kyle behind as that gap starts to make its way above the 1 second window.
They could do with a little bit of DRS or ARS in these cars, a little bit of extra power needed, but anyway, the LMP1s, big gaps between them all, 19 seconds now between Wolfie and Whiteout, so Whiteout's just managing the gap. It's got no issues. Maybe go for the fastest lap if he can get a 32 flat. He's improving his time, so he's not too far off. Jamie as well, though, has got the potential, got the ability to just go, here's another fastest lap. I've saved my tyres, got the fuel, so this is looking to be our top 3 for the Wolfie pits. So he's doing his second pit stop, so maybe another pit stop as well on top, but nobody knows, we'll see. So
he pitted quite early, to be fair, compared to everyone else in the LMP1s, which is probably why his soft tyres have worn off a lot quicker. But he does have quite a bit of fuel, so he's probably not going to put a lot of fuel in, although he does go out with a max full amount of fuel, and super soft tyres are on. 46 minutes to go. Do you think he can get to the end?
I don't think he can, especially not if he's taking lines like that. He's going to use more of his fuel up, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to have to nip to the toilet because I didn't go beforehand, so I'm going to leave you with our big host commentator Speed Knighton for about 5 minutes, and I'll be back.
Excellent stuff. Excuse me. So yeah, we started with 10 drivers. A little bit of a glitch issue for one of the LMP1s. We lost then we lost Senna in the LMP1s, then we lost Super in the GT3s, and then a shock really, as he was on for a good finish with the top 2 performance from H Racing Green. Maybe it been an internet issue as Mata comes into the pits, tops up his fuel, comes out on a fresh set of softs, and I'm sure he'll be going to the end. But no real battles left between the LMP1s. Jamie with a commanding lead of 33.3 seconds ahead of Whiteout, who has a 41-second lead to his Apex teammate of Wolfie, who has made his second stop and could be going to the end. And then these two, Wesley and Kyle, battling for the GT3 victory here around Monza. Nothing really separates these two other than half a second. Wesley runs a little bit wide. Kyle's back in the slipstream once again, but that Nissan is just so strong in a straight line. But Kyle has to literally be accelerating a lot quicker out of any corner to get the better run. A little bit closer, a little bit better on the brakes into turn 1 was Kyle, and maybe he gets the traction down a lot better than Wesley does. But back in the slipstream through Curva Grande towards turn 4, and Wesley will hold on once again. Oh, and there's contact. Oh, that was close. I thought there was contact. Oh, I made a little bit of a scream, and there was contact, I think, unless that was for the corner cut. But Kyle went incredibly deep into turn 4 and almost ploughed the back end of that Nissan. Maybe there was. Maybe that was why Wesley had to cut the corner. Kyle realising that he has to be better on the brakes, better on the exit corners than any stand a chance against this Nissan. Through Ascari once again, and I don't think Kyle will be able to mount an attack towards Wesley into Kyle Bollinger again. If there's anything about H Racing Green. Oh, H Racing Green had a little bit of an internet death the whole screen apparently froze and he got disconnected. So that's very unfortunate for H Racing Green. He was on for a strong finish as always. So we've got, is that Whiteout catching up to this little battle between the GT3s once again, and gets through both of them quite easily. Kyle, I think, lost a little bit of time, letting through his teammate, or essentially teammate, but no real harm done between them. Still got 1.3 of that 2-second penalty on his head. Vinicius Carl's got 0.2 himself. With 41 minutes to go, surely they'll be able to remove those penalties. As Wesley goes very tentatively into Parabolica, might give Kyle a little bit of a chance. They're both going into the pits. Why are they both pitting? Those softs might not be a very good race tyre then. Both come into the pits very early for both of them. 40 minutes to go. I'm sure they're both going to fill it up very even on fuel, 39 to 32. Carl might get the jump on him if they both fill up. Wesley's away, Carl's away, both with 100%. But I think Wesley's going to snatch in front once again. I also noticed, if I am correct, one of them is on the supers and one of them are on the softs. That is correct. Wesley is on the supers, the quicker tyre. And he didn't put 100% fuel in, he put 94, I think 94 or 96% of fuel in his car. And Carl put 100%. So I think Wesley cut the fuel just to make sure he got back in front of Kyle. And now I believe we're going to have a race, a grandstand run to the finish between these two. But I believe Wesley's going to get away with this, being on the essentially quicker tyre and with that little bit less fuel. Say 1 minute 40, say 1 minute 50 lap times. We'll get a little bit of a calculation going. 1 minute 50 lap times, so that's 110 seconds.
Come back to Pete doing maths, that's a rare occasion.
Oi, 13, I'm just trying to do some calculations here. Wesley and Carl pit again, funnily enough. But what's quite interesting, Kyle put 100% fuel in, has come out back on the softs. Wesley on the supers and came out with 94% fuel, 94 96% fuel.
So this is impressive that we know Wesley can. Wesley uses quite a lot of fuel, to be fair, in the first set of pit stops, and Carl still had a bit left. So we know Carl can save fuel a little bit if necessary. I'm just wondering if them super softs are actually going to go the distance, because Carl's looking to be staying up right now.
Yeah, exactly. And what I noticed that between the two of them, when it came to fuel, Carl had 39% and Wesley had 32%. Whereas in the first pit stop, Carl had 12 and Wesley had 3. So Wesley done a little bit more fuel saving during that second stint.
It's going to be interesting because Carl really is keeping the gap. He's keeping up with the rest of. With the rest of with Wesley, so it's going to be really interesting.
It is indeed. So that little bit of maths I was doing, I want to see how many laps are left for these boys. So I think 150 minutes, 1 minute 50 lap times is 110 seconds. We have 37 minutes left to go. So if I do so.
ILRT Jamie's just set the fastest second sector, so Once Jamie crosses the line, I suppose that's it. So if Jamie's doing consistent 31.5s, then
31.5. His quickest at the moment is a 31.9. So
yeah,
he was 4 tenths up.
He was set to be 3.5 tenths up, but
He gets round
got
Kyle.
Some traffic. He had to lift off, so he might improve, but not by as much as he maybe wants to improve. No, look at that. That's costing him.
So yeah, 37 minutes. That's 2,220 seconds divided by 110. Another 20 laps to go for these boys. For the GT3s, so all to play for. 20 laps. Super Softs is an interesting choice of tyre for 20 laps. Might be another pit stop in store, and because of fuel, really, I think they'll both pit again. Then for the then for the LMP1s, say they're doing 1:33, give or take. That's 93 seconds. That's another 23-24 laps for the LMP1s. So a decent race distance. Say he's on lap 35, there's going to be about 60 laps.
I was going to say roughly 60 laps, so really just halfway in lap time wise, 5 laps plus halfway. 35 minutes remaining. This has been an exciting race. Unfortunately, we've had 4 drivers leave with Y Racer with the glitch, Speed Center had a couple of incidents, Super had a few incidents, H Racing Green left with a
glitch, not glitch, an internet issue, what he said in the chat.
I must have missed that one.
A bit of an internet issue, so...
Still there's a storm going round in England though, so Storm Dennis could play a big part in that one.
True.
A few cones scattered about the track at the exit of Ascari I've seen, so a couple of offs from previous drivers, but again, LT cars sticking within that 1 second gap, even on the soft tyres, so it's, end of the race is going to come good, I have a feeling, for Kyle.
Good do indeed. He's got the pace on the harder tyre compared to Wesley, but then again, we don't know what the fuel strategy is for either driver. Kyle could be pushing it, expecting both of them to pit, but if you push your fuel, it means you've got to add more in your final stint. Wesley could be saving fuel to try and put less in his final stint, or even stretch this all the way to the end.
Going to be an interesting one.
There's one thing that I do need to remember, and it will be something that I might ask you to remind me. Remind me to for DBF1 tomorrow, not to stream on this account, as I did 2 weeks ago for Monaco.
I uploaded my footage of a race to this account that I had to delete it. So we've all been there, made that mistake.
Yep. It's just I didn't remember that I was on another account. Luckily, I got informed just after quali that I was, or during quali, that I was on the wrong account.
It happens, mistakes made. That's how most people get through life. You make a mistake, you learn from it.
That is very true. So Jamie, I think Whiteout's pit again. Not too sure, because Jamie's now 1 minute and 6 seconds ahead of Whiteout. We could see him lap the entire field. He's already lapped Wolfie, and we know he's lapped the
all of the GT3 cars.
All the GT3s 4 times.
Softs, Whitehouse on softs now, so
I think he pit.
yeah,
I don't see how he can be. Ooh, that's a very good lap time from Jamie. He only went less than a tenth slower than his personal
He's
best.
still doing consistent 31.9s, which is
Or 30 or
32
zeros.
so
32 zeros. When you got no pressure and you know your line to every corner, you can just go with the flow.
if he gets another 24-ish seconds, 25-ish seconds, he will lap Whiteout. So if Whiteout makes a mistake or pits, he will have lapped the whole thing, which hasn't been done yet this season.
But I think Jamie needs to pit again, to be fair. He's only made one stop.
Yeah, I think he does, but that gap is starting to come down, go even further even, so he's getting closer and closer to lapping LT Whiteout.
I see Kyle has dropped off a little bit from Wesley now. The gap's 2 seconds. And I believe in this game it's about you want to be within the 1.5 seconds to get any form of slipstream. And that gap has been surpassed, and it's now Wesley's race to lose.
I have a feeling Kyle's going to drop off significantly then at this point, and unless he can get that gap back up or Wesley makes a mistake, unless Wesley's tyres down, has to pit and Kyle manages to stay out, this is a potential to be the finishing order.
Could be indeed. So, with 45 seconds to go until we're 2/3 of the way through, are you surprised by the current standings at the moment?
Currently, I'm a little bit disappointed that we've had a couple of, obviously, we have disconnects and then the glitch. Two retirees, I think. H-Racing Green, obviously with his internet, would have been up there with Whiteout, if not in between Whiteout and JB, so would have been interesting to see Senna versus Wolfie as well, but nothing you can do about that. Wesley and Kyle are pretty bang on with my prediction so far. LRT Matter just sort of driving a race of his own, giving us something to do on a Sunday evening here.
That Porsche choice was not the best for this track, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, we're going to Le Mans next. And
I believe that's correct, yeah.
And I believe that's yet not another strong track for Porsche 911.
Second sort of half of that track is probably a little bit better for the Porsche, but the first half is just not brilliant. So again, I think we're going to see another one of these Kyle Wesley battles, although top speed is a bigger factor at Le Mans, is it not? So potentially Kyle could slip in front.
Possibly, but that Nissan is just got such good acceleration. We'll never know. We'll never know until a week today, until we see what happens.
The LMP1s will be interesting to watch for sure. Hoping everyone can get in.
Yeah,
will be very much interesting.
We had a full gridded Dragon Tail. We had all 7. We had 7 LMP1s, and that was what we want to see. We want to see 7 LMP1s, 7 GT3s, and we want to see them battling out for the whole hour and a half.
Supers through the green. Must just be interesting to see how the race is going.
Could be.
As we see Wolfie get past Matter, so Matter's just biding his time.
And we saw Whiteout get by Wesley. That gap's now over 3 seconds between Wesley and Kyle. I think what Kyle's going to be doing now is a little bit of fuel saving and tyres management, because I believe he can go to the end unless Wesley catches on to this.
28 minutes remaining. He probably could go to the end. Wesley probably can't if he's pushing.
It's on the super softs. We've seen the super softs go a very long way, but it's all about fuel.
Depends. If he actually sticks it out to the end, is Kyle gonna be able to just breeze past him with with Kyle's tyres being a little bit more sustainable? Wesley has a little penalty, but nothing too much. Wolfie does, but he's got rid of that. Whiteout does as well. Jamie's 1 minute 10 ahead. A little bit slower on that occasion in the first sector, but not a big issue. If Jamie doesn't pit and stays out for another 10-15 laps, he might end up just going past Whiteout as well for fun of it. Setting himself a challenge, lap the whole grid.
I don't think he'd ever dream of doing that with such a high roster of himself and AEC Green. And we saw that Whiteout was very close to him in qualifying. I don't think he'd ever think of lapping the entire grid. Maybe a few LMP1s, but not Whiteout. And he's waiting for him as well. But I'm pretty sure Jamie will still pit. He could be running lead for this entire. Well, I say he could be running lead. He's probably not if he's been setting some consistent 131s, 32s. We'll see what he is set this time around to catch up to the back of Kyle. 32 too, so I don't think he's fuel saving.
Same lap as last time as well, so he's going for it, if I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah, some consistency there. And not really full guns blazing, or even full fuel saving. As Wolfie in the pits for his final stop. 25 minutes, he should get, say 130, I did say about 133, 135 laps. So 25 minutes left.
Probably didn't need a full tank of fuel either, but he's put one in just in case.
With a full fuel tank, he can just push all the way. But I don't think he'll need a full tank.
So Kyle's still only 3.3 back, so he's keeping that sort of gap.
Fuel tank could be full, could be worth it. 15 laps to get out of it if he was doing 135 lap times with 25 minutes to go. 15 to 16 laps. I'm pretty sure going 100% on fuel could be anywhere around 20 laps, but he might have overdone it. But when you're refueling, it tells you how many laps your fuel is going to take you. So he might have overdone it. And Jamie's
into the pits.
On those
soft tyres.
I'm sure super softs will be going on.
Soft tyres.
We'll be able to get a retrospect of how much fuel you actually will need to complete the race when he comes out the pits.
If he goes for a full tank, he probably needs a full tank unless he's going for fastest lap again, which looks like he's going to get 90.
So not quite 100% fuel, but enough fuel to probably go full power all the way to the end.
So he's got a little bit of traffic ahead. He's got.
And he comes out. I'm not too sure what the gap is going to be, but that gap will close down as soon as Whiteout hits.
He's got Wesley and Kyle. So if he can get past Kyle in a decent position and then just sort of overtake Wesley in a bad one, it'll help Kyle. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think they'll both get to.
Jamie's a very smart driver. I think he'll bide his time.
All three drivers are very smart. I think they'll get out of the second Lesbo when Jamie will be on the back of Kyle. So Kyle will get past. So Jamie will get past Kyle very easily.
Yeah, based on position now, I think Jamie's got through now. I think Jamie will catch Wesley at the exit of Ascari on towards Kyle Walker.
Yeah, you're pretty right there. So this one is Jamie's to go chase, get fastest lap again. Can he break 31.9?
The gap between himself and Whiteout now is 49 seconds. So that was a 30-ish second, 20, 25, 26 second pit stop.
So Whiteout's been setting 32.8, so Whiteout's not that far off the pace. Whiteout's fastest lap is a 32.5.
I think we're going to see if Jamie can set a new personal best.
Wolfie's done the 32.6.
Kyle and Wesley back in the pits. They must have underfueled drastically and just been pushing.
Super softs, both of them have to pit for super softs. Kyle Wesley was on 3. Kyle's
Wesley's
got a
already
little
out
bit more
of the
fuel.
pits with 61%. Yeah, but don't forget, Carl was about 3 seconds behind. Carl comes out with 100% fuel. I think that's a little bit way too much.
That's way too much. Carl's going to literally have to push every lap.
Yeah, and now that gap is 10 seconds.
So maybe that's Kyle's race over then, maybe in terms for P1. Might be going for
well.
Matt,
I would say super soft. 60. Well, I think Wesley might have unfueled it. He put 60% of fuel in.
Potentially. Maybe that's what. Maybe, but if he's underfueled, it does have to pit.
But then again, he could fuel save. He's got a decent enough gap to Kyle if he needs to run lean a bit to save some fuel. Matter comes out with 100% fuel.
Fastest lap, maybe GT3 fastest lap instead of LMP1.
Could be, but we know the Porsche's not the best. So then Jamie coming round Parabolica, does he set a personal best? Nope, 2/10 off. But maybe that was just a warm-up.
Get it back into the rhythm to it. Had a little pit stop, so obviously he's probably taking a little break at some point, maybe just taking his foot and his hands off the pedals and the wheels.
Yeah,
so
getting used to the fresh tyres.
I think we'll see a 1:31.6.
I wouldn't doubt it. I might be thinking of 31.5.
I don't think he's quite got it to break the 31s, but a couple of attempts up is pretty much nothing to him.
Not too sure what qualifying was. That was in the 31s. Yeah, he did a 31. What's qualifying? 31. 5. So he could match his qualifying.
Now that will be impressive if he manages to match his qualifying.
As I've seen in this type of racing, basically general, that qualifying times have always been beaten in the race. Like you just see drivers going quicker in the race. Maybe that's probably due to slipstream. Maybe that's due to having a little bit less fuel, but he doesn't manage to improve it this time. It's quite a slow lap. But he could be just saving himself to go to the end.
That he's quite far out and he's managing to just keep consistent lap times. No social or anything. He's keeping staying fast, significantly faster than the other guys around. So.
How long have we got? Under 20 minutes to go.
Jamie gets past Andy to Matter. So Jamie comes then towards Parabolica. He got a penalty, which was quite interesting for Scary. So that lap was he was 5 tenths off, but if that
I don't think penalties count towards.
No, they must not, because it stayed on his. So Jamie's probably just biding his time. He probably knows that he doesn't need to push too hard. He's got the fastest lap. Whiteout probably won't beat it. Whiteout's not quite setting personal bests. Wesley and Kyle still 10.8. So what looked to be an exciting race has become a relatively boring one.
It seems to dry itself out towards the end. some points we can see it going all the way to the checkered flag, but I think what's caused a little bit of a gap between Wesley and Kyle is the difference in strategy between the two of them.
Yeah, probably. I probably agree a lot with you there.
And the fact that Wesley's underfueled the car drastically compared to Kyle on this final stint has given him that 10-second window. And even if Wesley has to pit again for a little bit of fuel, I'm sure he'll easily be able to catch up with that. You could also choose not to change the tyres, so if the tyres are still fit enough to go to the end but you just run out of fuel, pop a bit of fuel in, pop yourself back out and go to the end.
It's got 50 seconds out in the lead, Jamie. I can't get over that. That's an insane gap.
But then again, Jamie hasn't really made any mistakes. He's had that one little penalty we've seen. We know Whiteout made his mistakes towards the start. H Racing Green had his moments as well within the first half an hour, and Wolfie as well, with the battling between himself and H Racing Green.
It's an interesting one, because if you think about if we got rid of all the mistakes that we made, who could have become the victor of this race? H Racing Green could have. It could have not even been Jamie. Like, it could have been somebody else completely.
But then again, you have to be in it to win it.
Exactly. Speed Senna could have been up there for all we know.
Interesting to see that Jamie, I just heard a ding as someone set a quick time, or one of their personal bests. I noticed that Wolfie, I think, Wesley's running the number 0.
I noticed that actually. I didn't say anything, but I saw it. I was.
Carl's got number 22, Matthew with number 9. Jamie has set a 31.6.
So he's close. He's close to what we've predicted.
Yeah, you predicted a 31.6. I said maybe a 31.5 could be possible. He gets through the traffic of Kyle.
So he's back in his rhythm then.
Yeah.
Can we see faster laps coming?
As the fuel burns itself off, we could see more faster laps. Show me the time. Yeah, Whiteout's fastest lap is a 32.5, so that's 9/10 slower. But then again, Wolfie's fastest lap's not that far behind Whiteout's 32.6. And then Kyle has the quicker lap time compared to Wesley, and you can just see the difference in speed between the Porsche and the others. A second and a half between Kyle and Matter.
So we've had some good points, we've had some bad points, we've had some boring points in this race, which is a pretty good race all round. I'm sure the drivers will be relatively happy
Jamie's
with
now catching up
the race.
to Wesley. I think Jamie's through as they come towards the start-finish line.
I don't think Jamie was up on his time anyway, but
They set a 36.4. Lifetime screen. See if it can give me any facts about lap times, consistency. As he goes purple in the first, he's a 10th up. Is Jamie.
can he break that 31.5?
Oh, but he's got a penalty. 5/10 penalty.
I wonder if he'll power through that. I don't think he'll slow down. He's got no real need. He can slow down the lap after, so
Whether
we'll
he
see.
fastest lap, I'm not too sure whether that counts towards penalties. don't do that much racing on this game, especially with penalties that go for fastest lap. He's still up.
Still just about up on his time.
And he's got it down to 2/10 through Ascari. I think if I was Jamie, I'd get rid of the penalty and just go for another one. Which is what he's doing. Someone's listening. Although he hasn't quite got rid of it. Although I thought he did.
So it's still going to be interesting to see if Wesley got enough fuel in that car as well. Because
Nope, he doesn't. He's in the pits.
as I say that, he comes into the pits. This is going to be very interesting then.
Carl now running down towards the start-finish line. He's ahead of Wesley. Wesley's come out with quite a lot of fuel. But it's going to be close between Carl and Wesley towards turn 1. Carl, I think, is going to have it.
So we have a little bit of racing now, and this means Wesley can absolutely push now to get past Carl. So this is going to be super interesting.
We underestimated how much fuel was put in Wesley's car when they went for the pit
there's
stops.
LMP1.
And the LMP1's trying to get involved. And Wesley's going to get in the slipstream, and that straight line speeder than this, and is going to get him through. Carl's opportunity has
So Wolf is very much hindered as well as helped Wesley there. So that's
with an extra pit stop under Wesley's belt, he's back in the lead and ahead of Kyle, and Kyle now in the slipstream. As we've noticed throughout, as Wolfie goes very wide through the Lesmo.
it's not even on the track yet. Car has a penalty, so Car was clearly pushing hard to try and keep that, but unfortunately don't think he'll be able to.
So the one down to Barbarica. Wesley's got rid of that little bit of penalty he had. Also, look at that little cheeky fastest lap that Jamie's done, by the way.
31.3. We were too busy focusing on
this little battle, and Jamie's gone and smashed his own record. I was saying a 31.5, you said a 31.6. He's only gone and done a 31.3. He's gone all guns blazing.
that is impressive. Nine minutes left then, just over.
White out in the pits. He had to make a final stop. He had very little fuel, and he'll be putting in half a tank and soft tyres again. I don't know why he's gone soft tyres when there's only 10 minutes to go.
It's interesting.
It might be the better race tyre. We noticed that the GT3 cars used it more than the super soft, so it could be a better race tyre.
Potentially could be.
Lap 53 for Jamie. Whiteout's on lap 52. Not too far up the road to being lapped. 20 seconds. Probably won't get lapped now unless he makes a huge mistake as he runs wide through.
You wouldn't expect it. 1 minute 12. So, like you said, unless Whiteout slips up on those tyres, Jamie's going to be not lapping him, but not far away.
Kyle was right on the back of Wesley. We move back to the back for the lead in the GT3s. Wesley's running very wide. He was quite late on the brakes going into Parabolica.
He knows he can run wide though, because the acceleration of the Nissan is insane. And Kyle you can see he's doing very well to carry on and stay on the back of.
He's slowly closing in. It's like going down very minuscule thousandths of a second. but Kyle gets the better one through turns 1 and 2, gets the better exit with the Nissan's acceleration, as we've spoken about multiple times, so much more better.
The interesting thing is, will we see a dive bomb from Kyle? Is he going to throw it in one of the Lesmos, for example, and see if he can just get that move done? Like we see, he's broken late there, flipping out. That could have been the dive bomb we were talking about, but he's managed to...
I think in fact he's got a penalty for it, breaking in late, cuts the corner, he's got a half-second penalty added on to his already half a second that he had. But what's quite interesting, if I was Kyle, if you're going to do a move like that, you'd leave it to the final lap, because there would be no reason to do it any earlier, because Wesley would just get you back.
Yeah, I agree. If he can keep up with Wesley on the final lap, then that's exactly what I'd imagine he'll do.
As we've got, is that Whiteout catching up to the back of these people? It is indeed.
Might be.
Wesley gets another penalty. Whiteout through very easily on Carl. Wesley let him through.
Slaloms through them both.
Yep. And Wesley onto the brakes of the Parabolica. No issues there for either of the three drivers racing. As we have 6 minutes on the dot to go.
Maybe we won't see as many laps as we thought. We thought we'd see about 60 laps, but...
I think I said 59, 60. What? Wait, hang on. Jamie's on lap 55, so if it's a minute...
Oh, yeah.
Fair, it's a minute and a half a lap, give or take. A minute 32 a lap. 6 minutes.
57, 58, 50, yeah, maybe 59 actually.
Oh, as Jamie gets this massive penalty on slapped on his wrist, 1.5 seconds for, I believe, a massive corner cut into turn 1 and 2. Taking liberties, I think. Trying to go for that even quicker, fastest lap. Pushing his
Can't
luck.
blame me though, really.
Yeah, pushing his luck. And he's got a massive window. If he does make a mistake. Compared to Whiteout. I think we need to keep an eye on these boys. There's one down towards the sky between Wesley and Kyle. Does Kyle think about it? Both break into the corner. The nose and tail both ghosting. I think Kyle's literally pushing Wesley round the Scary. And I think this is the closest Kyle has ever been to overtaking Wesley. But I think the acceleration out of the Scary hindered Kyle being that close to the back of that Nissan.
It's interesting though, because maybe Wesley is starting to crack under pressure. We haven't seen him crack under much pressure the whole race, and now the final few minutes, Kyle's had to pit then due to fuel, and there goes that battle.
Yeah, that's Kyle out of contention. So 100% of fuel still didn't get him to the end. He must have been pushing like an absolute madman. He didn't change his tyres because there was no real reason to, but a little bit of fuel in. And can just go all guns blazing.
He had 11% fuel left though, so that's interesting.
I think 11% is only like 2 laps.
It's a couple of laps maybe though, so, but these things with these cars...
Yeah, that's true, and he was just sticking with Wesley. But if he wanted to stay with Wesley throughout the whole thing, he would have had to keep pushing on the fuel really. And then that could have been race ending. So 3.5 minutes to go. I'm going to ask you one final question, Risky. Who is your driver of the day for each category?
Category-wise, I have to give the LMP1 to LRT Jamie. Just flawless drive, no mistakes whatsoever. A couple of penalties, but that's just him going for fastest lap. And for the GT3, I think I'm also going to have to give it to the current leader and probable leader as well.
As Jamie pits. Jamie gunning for that fastest lap on the fresh tyres, no fuel needed. He's going all guns blazing. He wants a sub 131, and he might be able to get it.
Sorry about that.
You cut out a little bit, yeah. Who was your driver of the day for GT3?
GT3 driver, probably give it to Wesley, because he's just managed to keep that gap just enough that he can stay in front of Kyle, and now he's obviously done the right strategy call. Maybe we were all thinking Kyle could get to the end, but clearly his strategy just wasn't quite up to what Wesley's was.
What was interesting was, because of that lack of straight line speed for the Aston Martin, he's probably had to burn a little bit more fuel than Wesley has had to, which is why that 100 filling up the tank all the way through when he did was just not enough to go all the way to the end. But as I mentioned, Jamie pit, and he pit for a brand new set of supers. No fuel, he had 20% left, he's gotten rid of the rest of his penalties. He's going to go for one more flying lap to try and get a record breaker.
1:30.3 to beat,
and he's got one lap to do it. And we're going to stay on board with him for the whole of the lap. See if he can put together the perfect lap.
So I spoke through this qualifier. Is one of the qualifying runs. Fancy speaking about this flying lap, Miss Nelson?
Run down towards turn 1 and 2. Got to be quite early on the brakes to get the car stopped. It's very tight to turn 1, as you can see. He runs a little bit deep and rides the curb on to turn 2, up towards Curva Grande, where on the exit of Curva Grande you'll get the split time for the first sector, which will see whether he is up on his time towards turn 4. Is he improved?
Oh,
he's 3/10 down. Can he find it? Who knows? Nicely through turns 4 and 5, up towards the first Lesmos of turn 6, wide on towards the entry to get a nice one through, and then into the second Lesmo. You want to run wide to try and just use as much track as possible, not run too wide to be able to lose time. Now towards Ascari, turns 8, 9 and 10. He's gained 2/10. We could see a showstopper here if he gets the nice run through Ascari, runs a little bit wide but keeps the speed up towards Parabolica for the final time. Lap 58. In towards Parabolica, he was 0.185 down in the second sector. He was 0.34 down in the first. Jamie is going to win here at Monza, but does he get a new fastest lap? He doesn't, by 80,000 of a second. If he hadn't made that mistake into turns 1 and 2, he would have beaten his previous fastest lap of 1:31.3. I would say easily, probably got into the 1:30s. Whiteout crosses the line in P2. Wolfie will be taking the final spot on the podium for the LMP1s. Wesley then will keep on board with him as he rounds the final corner of his lap 50. 8 laps down, but no surprise there with the speed difference between GT3 and LMP1. Massa has already crossed the line, he takes third.
And it's the victory then for Wesley in the GT3 class, with Kyle with a very, very close race.
Drive, yeah, both of them put a show on for us. They were within a second of each other for 90% of that race. They matched each other's strategies until the last, where fuel came into it. And congratulations to all 6 drivers.
Honourable mention as well. Big honourable mention to Lotte Massa. Raced this race pretty much on his own and kept to it. Kept all the way to it.
Yeah.
And finished on the podium. So it just shows that if you keep going, you will indeed get results.
Yeah, indeed. So there he is. Jamie, your race winner. So, as Wesley says, bum, 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 yes, in the chat, we will end off this stream. Any final few words from yourself, Whiskey?
Very good race. Be sure to join us for an even better, exciting race next week at Le Mans. And yeah, this has been AEC.
And thank you all for watching. See you all next week for the same duo. Hopefully covering the same amount of action next week.